A few decades ago, the dream was simple: get a stable job, buy a house, start a family, retire someday, and for millions of people, that was enough. But somewhere along the way, something changed. Because today, ask a teenager what they want to do when they grow up. And there's a good chance they won't say doctor, lawyer, engineer, or teacher. Instead, they want to be a YouTuber, a streamer, a content creator, a trader, an entrepreneur, or the founder of some AI startup that may or may not exist by next Tuesday. And honestly, it's easy to laugh at that. But here's the thing: this obsession with getting rich isn't happening by accident. In fact, there are a few very specific reasons why an entire generation seems completely uninterested in the traditional path. And the uncomfortable truth is that it might not be their fault. For most of modern history, success wasn't complicated. You got a job, you worked hard, you slowly moved up the ladder, and if everything went according to plan, you could afford a home, support a family, and retire someday. It wasn't glamorous. Nobody was posting motivational quotes about becoming a middle manager. Nobody was renting a Lamborghini to impress strangers online. But it worked. Or at least people believed it worked. Then the internet showed up. And for the first time in human history, ordinary people gained front row seats to the lifestyles of the extremely successful. Every day, every hour, every scroll. A teenager in a small town can now watch a 22-year-old millionaire wake up in Dubai, fly first class to Tokyo, and spend more on lunch than most people spend on groceries in a week. Whether it's real or not almost doesn't matter. The image is what sticks. Most people think the reason everyone wants to be rich is greed. And sure, some of it probably is. But people have always wanted more money. That's not exactly breaking news. What's changed is who we're comparing ourselves to. 100 years ago, you compared yourself to your neighbors. Maybe the guy down the street had a slightly bigger house. Maybe someone owned a nicer horse. That was about it. Today, you open your phone and immediately get front row seats to the most successful people on the planet before you've even brushed your teeth. 20 years ago, becoming an accountant sounded pretty respectable. Today, telling people you're an accountant gets about the same reaction as telling them you're really passionate about printer manuals. Because attention has become part of success. Whether that's fair or not doesn't really matter. That's just the world we're living in. And here's the part nobody really talks about. Most people don't want to be rich. They don't care about private jets and owning supercars. Most people just want a life that feels a little more under their control. And honestly, that's hard to blame them for. The problem is that once people start looking for a way out, they become very easy to sell to. Because the internet is full of people promising exactly that. Every week there's a new guru, a new course, a new side hustle, a new business model that's supposedly changing everything, and somehow every single one of them claims you can get there faster than everyone else. Which is funny because if all these shortcuts actually worked, we'd probably all be millionaires by now. But people keep buying in, not because they're dumb, because the alternative is accepting that most things take a long time. And nobody likes hearing that, especially when your phone is showing you people who apparently became successful overnight. Even though overnight usually means 6 years that nobody saw, that's the part social media leaves out. You see the result. You don't see the thousands of failed attempts that came before it. And after a while, something strange starts happening. People stop trying to build a better life and start searching for a completely different one. They're looking for the big breakthrough, the one viral video, the one business idea, the one lucky opportunity that changes everything. And maybe that happens. Sometimes it does. But for most people, life doesn't change all at once, it changes slowly. That's why so many people end up feeling stuck. Not because they're failing, but because they're comparing their real lives to someone else's highlight reel. And that's a comparison almost nobody wins. So why does nobody want a normal job anymore? Honestly, I don't think it's because people suddenly became lazy. I think people are just seeing more options than ever before. 100 years ago, you compared yourself to the people on your street. Today, you're comparing yourself to the most successful people on earth. Every single day. And after a while, that changes how you think. It changes what feels normal. The weird part is that most people probably aren't chasing millions of dollars. They're chasing what they think comes with it. More freedom, more control, more time. Whether they're right about that is a completely different question. Because for every person who makes it, there are thousands who don't. The internet just doesn't show those people very often. But maybe that's why everyone's trying. Maybe they're unrealistic. Maybe they're ambitious. Maybe they're just tired of hearing that the reward is always somewhere in the future. Work hard now. Wait a little longer. Maybe one day it'll all be worth it. And for a lot of people, that answer just isn't as convincing as it used to be. I don't know. But if you told a kid in 1995 that people would become millionaires from their bedrooms by just building online brands or creating digital content without ever leaving their house, they would think you were completely insane. Today, that's just another day. And honestly, that's kind of crazy when you think about it.